Hey everybody, welcome back to Historical Lights Nightly Chat and Toast. Back for another edition during this quarantine. You got a fantastic guest with us this evening, Brother Warren Hughes. Hey brother, can you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let us ever know where you're from, what you're all about.
Warren Hughes. I'm actually tonight sitting in my home lodge of Neosho Lodge number 27. And of course, if anybody has been around me much, I know I like to talk about Neosho Lodge. And I got a few things, some of our archives that I wanted to show you tonight. And we do have a new addition to our lodge, and that's something towards the end I would like to show you. It has a lot of significant meaning to Kansas Masonry. So,
Fantastic. So when you came into Masonry, did you come into Neosho, or where did you get your
yes.
start? You came right into
Yeah,
Neosho?
I was raised here in Neosho. I was raised in May of, I'm actually a young brother. I was raised in May of 2010.
Okay.
And then I, of course, went through the chairs. And I was in the East in 2015. And from there, I've kept pretty busy. I've had 2 years as district deputy and then 2 years as area deputy. And this year, from Most Washful Tony appointed me this year as the Grand Junior Deacon. So I will serve as the Grand Junior Deacon this year.
Very nice. Congratulations on that. That's fantastic. So how's this whole quarantine been treating you, my brother?
Well, I'm a mover and goer. I'm still working. Having to work from home. But I'm in sales and I'm used to getting out and moving around all over the country and overseas. And it's been tough. I mean, I really antsy. I'm really missing Lodge, you know. It's and I want to thank you and Robert for doing this every night, because all of us brothers got some anxiety of not being able to go to Lodge and see our brothers, and by your podcast we're able to relieve that a little bit.
Hey man, thank you for that. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be able to offer up this platform and just connect with everybody for a few minutes each night, and spread some info with Masonic history. So each night we've been plagued with technical difficulties. I had a wasp flying over me the other night. Now I got my cat all over the place. She's wanting some cuddles tonight, so she's going to be on the show with us apparently. Well, that's awesome, man. So obviously right now in Kansas and so many other jurisdictions, lodges are off limits for brothers to get together and hold meetings and anything in groups. So it's kind of cool to see your lodge not sitting completely empty. I've made it up to my lodge a few times to get some different books and everything to digitize and whatnot, and even put a new lock on the door the other day, upgraded it from the old sticky one that we had. Has your lodge been doing anything, taking advantage of this time that's
we've done some cleaning in the lodge. Like I said, I got a new addition to the lodge. Our brother secretary, he's I'm not for sure he's even aware of it yet. But anyways, I think he'll enjoy it. I think he'll enjoy the addition. But yeah, I've done some things. I want to get up here. I want to move some of our books. We have every annual communication book for every year, all the way back to it's in the 1800s. I don't know if it goes all the way back to the but I think it goes like into the 1890s. But I want to get those. We have a cabinet here that we're putting all of our books and stuff in. So we're trying to display our archives. They've been sitting in a room stacked on top of each other for who knows how many weeks. Well, this lodge was built in the early 80s, and they've never been out of that room since they were put in it. So
Right.
trying to get them out where we can display them and show them to everyone.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. Yeah, it's I've been preaching that to everybody for last few years that up until this point, the biggest thing with Masonic history has just been to get everything you can and you got it. It's safe. That's it. And for so many years, that's about all you could do. But now we're at that point of our history's life that we've got to get it out and enjoy it, and also take those opportunities to preserve it, because we're that last generation, so to speak, in so many of these instances with these old books and whatnot, that if we don't do something about it, next time it's around, it's going to be too late. We're seeing the ink disappear from the pages and pages crumbling. So yeah, it's great to see brothers taking those initiatives.
Beautiful writing. I mean, some of the writing is beautiful, and the wording is it's so lack of a better word, professional. It's so professional, and it's really enjoyable. You start reading it, I can't hardly put it down. I just keep reading it. But,
right. What I enjoyed so much about the different writings, though, is because of how it's very neat. Some guys are just beautiful, and other guys you kind of hate them because you're like, oh, your writing sucks so bad. I can't understand what happened in these years. But from that, you get a really unique glimpse into the personality of that brother through the way he was writing from one meeting to another. And it's kind of cool. It's that personal touch that the text on paper today just does not bring forth as well at all.
No, and you can tell. I mean, like you said, you can tell the personality, because you can tell the difference in the reading of it, and it's really neat. It's really neat reading.
Indeed.
I enjoy it.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining in with us. We've got a whole bunch of people on the live right now. I'm trying to maneuver a mouse around a cat here. We've got a bunch of people dropping in the comments. We always appreciate that. Up at the top of the screen, we just see a number. We can't see who everyone is. So we'd love to see the comments coming through so we can see the individuals joining in with us. We got Vanessa Lee. Hey, Vanessa, it's good to see you. Brother Marvin Fletcher, Maddox on here. Brother Boyd. Let's see, Brother Bridges and Alan. Hey, Brother Staley, Brother David Neal. Good to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining in with us. And we appreciate the continued support of this this mission that we're going on with this during this time of quarantine. Now, Brother Hughes, I saw before we started here, you had some pretty cool history sitting there next to you. I was going to give you an opportunity if you want to share some of that with us.
Yes, I will. And I'm going to move my camera here, so hopefully I'll get it to where everybody can see it. But the first thing that I'm going to show is our very first original minutes that we have on hand. And I'll show those to you. The original.
Fantastic. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't hear you, Mike, right now, but I can definitely see the writing on there. That's awesome,
okay,
man.
That is, those minutes are from March the 19th of 1864.
Oh,
and
okay.
The very first line of those minutes are requesting the secretary to contact the Grand Lodge and let them know that their charter was destroyed by fire. And if the Grand Secretary could kindly send them a new one. So all the minutes prior to this, we know were burnt. Now there is something we do have. If we don't have it in our possession, we have copies of it, but it's in Grand Lodge's possession. They have the original first minutes ever for Neosho Lodge when it was Neosho Lodge UD. And
right?
Those minutes, I think, are recorded sometime in 1856. So that's pretty neat. I got another thing here real quick.
Yeah.
Might be able to do it this way better. This is our original bylaws.
Nice.
That were written in 1859. And when they were completed, it has 10 chapters, and then it has a rule of order for the lodge. And those, at the end of that, every member of the Osho Lodge signed those bylaws. And that
That's
is
cool.
really neat. We have the signature of every one of them. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool. And that's unique too, to be able to have those signatures of those brothers. There's, so many circumstances there where guys are looking through those and trying to find a signature of a great grandpa or something. And, unfortunately it just shows that they were intended. So, it wasn't hand signed by them. So to have something like that, where you have those charter members in there hand signing that document, that's fantastic, man.
Oh, it
Be able
is.
to
And
assign that history to those individuals.
And I just can't believe these books and how clear, and how well the ink has been preserved in these books.
Yeah,
And I know a lot of that's from being closed and not being open.
sure.
So as we do display these, we are protecting them from the light. We have a cover over a display case that only time we open it up is if we have visitors or guests or something here that is interested in seeing them. But other than that, they stay covered.
Good deal. That's awesome, man. Yeah. So with Gardner, that's one thing that I've unfortunately not been able to uncover was the original bylaws. We see them talked about a lot, and I addressed it when I wrote the book from the minutes. They'll address individual parts, but we don't have that original handwritten copy of the bylaws. The oldest one I've been able to find, I think I shared it on one of these lives, was probably 15 years in. It was like in 1880s. It was a pamphlet. But even that was amazing. That it was an entire pamphlet back then versus what we had today. They were specific down to the color of paint on the rod staff.
Yep, exactly.
No messing around whatsoever. But yeah, I would love to be able to hopefully one day recover, if they still exist, those original bylaws. That's fantastic that you guys have those. I think it's a unique piece. I haven't seen many of those floating around.
Yeah, it's and I don't know exactly, other than photographing each page, and document, and trying to save it that way too. I don't know, how else you could, you hate to have these things open and out where they can be touched, because the bindings of these books are almost like powder. If you touch them, it comes off on your hands. You got to be really, really careful with them.
So the cool thing there is, through the Kansas Lodge Research, we've actually put together a few kits, and we're just waiting on this quarantine to get over so we can push these kits out to the lodges. But it's a service we're doing free to lodges in Kansas, and it's going to have everything in there that you guys need to digitally archive your lodge and be able to protect that information for years to come. So
that is great.
If you guys are interested in that, our goal is to get as many Kansas lodges digitized as we can, and move from there so we can save history. So, when it comes down to this, we got two major goals. One, to be able to save that history so that down the road, we always have it, even after that book is just no more. We still have that history preserved. But then on the other hand, too, is to actually preserve that physical copy just as long as we can as well. So we take measures in both aspects there. One, first and foremost, recover that or preserve that history itself, but also preserve that physical history on both aspects. So Kansas Lodge Research, man, once we get out of this quarantine, we'll get a kit over to you guys, be able to cover both those fights for you and get that information served on you. Now, I think you got something else as well, but it is 9 o'clock, so I think we're going to break to the toast, and then we'll finish up with your other item, if that's okay, or does it flow the other way?
This is going to lead into the toast.
All right, okay. So guys, hold on. We're going to do just after 9 toast this evening, but it'll be worth it.
Okay, just going to show you the new addition to our lodge.
Yeah, I've been drum rolling since you told me you got a surprise coming. I've been waiting on this.
That is the Grand Master's desk.
Oh, okay, sweet. So that was out of the auction. Yeah, we're not picking up audio when you turn it away. So we recently had an auction through the KMF, online auction, and one of the items in there, since many of you know, the Grand Lodge building for Kansas was recently sold. One of the items in there was the Grand Master's desk out of the Grand Master's office in our Grand Lodge building. You guys got it. That is fantastic. How
Yeah,
cool is that, man?
it was, I believe it was purchased in 1971. But out of the 151 total grandmasters, 49 grandmasters have worked at this desk. And
So cool.
so that's going to bring me to my toast.
All right.
I brought with me my toasting cannon from our Grandmaster's Table Lodge. So I have
Right
that
on.
with me. There was some questions on a Facebook post that a brother had put an apron and was asking about if the apron was from a past Grandmaster, and it had an emblem on it and it had the square above. And that's exactly what our Grandmaster's jewel looks like. So what I'm toasting with tonight, being that I just wrote our new bylaws based on our 1859 bylaws, corresponds with the up-to-date Grand Lodge bylaws. But since I wrote these bylaws, in these bylaws, I cannot have an alcoholic beverage in this lodge. So, Old Orchard apple juice.
Right on. And while I snuck away there, I saw your awesome little toasting cannon there, so I went and grabbed the same out of mine. So I'll toast right with you,
Awesome.
brother.
Okay, the toast is to all past grandmasters and to our current grandmaster, most worshipful Anthony W. Bourne.
Here, here.
Cheers, brothers.
Cheers. Fantastic. Very appropriate. The Grandmaster's desk. Toasting to the Grandmasters. That's awesome, man. So I guess your guys' secretary is going to have to, tighten his tie a little tight this year, right?
Yeah, he is, and he's going to have to get used to a lot of space because this desk is about twice as big as the one he had.
That's great,
And I'm
man.
sure he's going to tell me there was nothing wrong with the one he had, but being able to have the Grandmaster's desk sitting in your lodge is pretty awesome.
That's right. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That is indeed a fantastic share. I was not expecting that. That's really, really cool, though. That's one of the items I was for sure watching on there because I was very intriguing to wonder where the Grandmaster's desk was going to end up. Very, very cool.
Well,
So,
Alex,
thank you so much.
I
No, go
appreciate
ahead.
you having me on, and keep up the good work, brother. You're doing great work.
Hey, that means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on and sharing everything you have and the work that you're doing for the craft and your lodge, man. It's much, much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank everybody for joining us tonight and every night, continuing in with this mission during this time of quarantine. Like I said before, it's a pleasure for us to be able to provide this platform to get together for 15 minutes or so a night and just chat with the brothers, share some history, and of course have that beloved toast and just be with each other for a little bit. So with that, definitely keep up with us. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:45 Central Standard Time with Toast at 9. So until then, everybody, be safe, stay well, take time to save history. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.
Sure, brothers.